wabarakatuh. I'm Chindy Yulia Permatasari, and now I will explain to you guys about types of morphemes. Alright, there are two types of morpheme. First is free morphemes. Free morphemes is independent word or can stand alone to make a word as it doesn't in the word happy. And the second is bond morphemes. Bond morphemes can never stand alone but must always be attached to at least one other morpheme within a word. For example, the prefix "an" and the suffix adding "ness" and "li" are bond morphemes. Free morphemes is divided into two functions. Namely, the first is lexical morphemes as noun, adjective, and verb. For example, happiness. And the second is functional morphemes as conjunction, preposition, pronoun, quantifier, auxiliary, and article. For example, for conjunction is "and" a preposition is "in", and for pronoun is "he" and any other. About bond morphemes, there are two functions. The first is derivational morphemes. Is about change part of speech. For example, happy as adjective and happiness as noun. And the second is inflectional morphemes. So, inflectional morphemes do not change part of speech and all suffix. Example, rain as read and rent as reading. Now I'm going to explain to you about root. Definition of root. Root is a case of word that carries the principal meaning or component. It can be said that root is a base form of elements without adding by affix. It stands alone and cannot be analyzed into smaller parts. Root is a base form that is used by affix to smaller part. Root is a base form that is used affix to attach. For example, walk is the root can appear in the form of words such as walks, walking, and walk. And the second example you can see in the slide or this video. Okay, the last for me about affixation. Affixation is the process of adding a morpheme or affix to a word to create either a different form of the word or new word with a different meaning. First is prefix. This means adding before or in front of word. For example, re and adding to make. The second is adding an for kind and adding in front of word descent. And the second is infix. An infix instead inside a word stem of within the base form of word. For example, kind and adding ly, so kindly, and weight adding er, so waiter, and the book adding s, books. And the third is suffix. Suffix is a morpheme added at the end of a word to form a derivative. For example, adding ing, at, and as. And the last is circumfix or ambifix. This is about consists of a prefix and a suffix that together produce a derived or inflected form. For example, adding en and then the last adding en inflecting.
A stem is the root or roots of a word together with any derivational affixes to which inflectional affixes are added. For example, untouchables. The stem is untouchable without s. Although in the form touch, the stem is touch without ed. In the form wheelchairs, the stem is wheelchair without s, even though the stem contains two roots, wheel and chair.
Definition of base. Base is any unit whatever to which affixes of any kind can be added. The affix attached to a base may be inflectional affixes selected for synthetic reason or derivational affixes which alter the meaning or grammatical category of the base. Bases are similar to stem but they have no lexical meaning. In the other words, all words are base. Bases are called stem only in the context of inflectional morphology. Example from base. 1. Faithfully, unfaithful, faithfulness, box soaps, untouchable, and the other. Thank you.
My name is Amelia Nim. I would like to explain about inflection. So, what is the inflection? Inflectional in morphology is morphemes that add grammatical information to a word. When a word is inflected, it still retains its core meaning, and its categories stay the same, with a few suffixes added. And so, what is the example about the inflections? And there are plural, third person, singular, present tense, past tense, progressive or incomplete action, comparative degree, substantive degree. And when there is a plural, for example, book, and we add s, and the third person we add s, like sleeps. And about the past tense, for example, for walk, we add ed. Sorry for a wrong example in the video. And about progressive, we add ing, like cooking, walking, sleeping. And about comparative degree, we add er, like taller, cheaper, and smaller. And in the superlative degree, we add est, adds, like tallish. And
I'm Yezi Amelia. The last material will be conveyed by myself. Thank you. Derivational morpheme. A. Definition of derivational morpheme. So, derivational morpheme is an affix, a group of letters added before the beginning prefix or after the end suffix of a root or base word to create a new word or a new form of an existing word. Sometimes the presence of a derivational affix causes a major grammatical change, involving moving the base from one word class into another, as in the case of less, which turns a noun into an adjective. In other cases, the change caused by a derivational suffix may be minor. It may merely shift a base to a different subclass within the same broader word class. B. Example of derivational morpheme. Some examples of derivational morpheme is various examples of morpheme derivational in part of speech are as follows. 1. Noun derivational, for example, legitimacy, kindness, and development. 2. Adjective derivational, for example, silken, lifelike, and fragile. 3. Verb derivational, for example, strengthen and flaker. 4. Adverb derivational, for example, along, tightly, and slowly. And so many examples from derivational morpheme you can read in our paper. Thank you.